guys, it is the Poke King, and we're back with another banger. All right, we're gonna take a look at my spicy Duraludon EX deck. Now, if you want quick, easy knockouts on PTCG Live, this is the deck for you. This is so much fun, and I'm going to Atlanta Regional, so I'm looking at a deck that I don't got to think too much, but it can literally win without your opponent drawing a card. You can win on turn one, and I'll show you how it's done. So we're gonna get into the deck profile, no edits or anything like that. Let's just run through this deck profile because I'm gonna show you the combo. So 3 Duraludon, of course you need this to get into your Duraludon EX, but it allows you to attack through like not Teal Mass, but Cornerstone Ogerpon. So the fact that we can do Hammer in, and the fact that we can also do Raging Hammer makes this Duraludon pretty beefy. Now, there's a debate. I don't play the Relicanth. The deck list is very tight from the standpoint of like what you can put on your bench. So we're gonna run 3 regular Duraludon, but just remember, Raging Hammer, potentially, if you had played the Relicanth, is absolutely busted. So we may have to add that into the deck, but it's a combo based deck. So we're going to play 3 Archaludon EX, assemble Alloy. When you evolve into this Pokemon, take 2 Metal Energies from your discard pile and attach them to your Metal Pokemon, and then Metal Defender does 220, and then you're no longer weak to fire Pokemon. You have no weakness. So what's really cool with this is that, once again, if you run up against like an EV deck, they can't Flareon you and knock you out like that, so they have to do raw damage. Now this is the spice, you guys already saw it. We're playing the poison package, so Brute Bonnet, Toxic Powder, as long as it has an ancient booster energy capsule, you may make both active Pokemon poison. So we play a cool little tool card like Binding Mochi, which allows our 220 Archaludon plus the poison to beat through Terapagos EXs, other different Pokemon. So you're absolutely able to go crazy and busted. So Brute Bonnet, really important. We then also play 2 Pecharon. Now Pecharon is your beginning game. With Pecharon and Brute Bonnet, you're able to pretty much get a turn 1 KO. Your opponent will not get to draw a card, so this is absolutely busted. So even if you are running up against EV decks, everybody's playing a Badoo. If they're playing Hoot Hoots, even if they're 80 HP Hoot Hoots, we play the Jungle Stadium. So you can literally take knockouts without your opponent ever drawing a card. And then when you're going to something like a big regional, especially with Atlanta, the first regional after the new format with Journey Together, you want easy wins. This deck can grind really late game and become very, very nutty in the late game, but the fact that you can win turn 1, hey, let's play a game of Pokemon. I flip over the Petron, I get the Brute Bonnet combo, and then it's GG's. I won in 2 minutes. Now we can spend the next 8 minutes just focusing on a really good game too. So having something like this is really good, especially with the format. And if you're going first, a lot of people will just open up with a Badoo, and if they only open up with just a Badoo or a Dreepy, even against Dragapult, they're at the mercy of Pecharon and that ability, because Pecharon with Toxic Subjugation puts an additional 5 more damage counters on the Poison Checkup. So it's busted. This card softens up a lot of Pokemon, so Pecharon is so good. We play 2 Squawkability without there being a Hisuian Heavy Ball in the format. You cannot prize this unless you get like the absolutely nutty combo on the beginning turn with like a Carmine. You need Squawkability to help reset that hand. If you see Squawk and Carmine in your opening hand, or can get to those 2 cards, you're pretty much hitting the combo. We play Mew EX because this deck has no draw power outside of the supporters. So there are some times where you'll draw off supporters and have all dead draws, and you just need like an Ultra Ball to get to an Archaludon to attack, or you need to get to like the secret box with Brute Bonnet. So there may potentially be an Arven that I may throw into the deck, just because I think potentially if you can Poke get to an Arven, you may be able to hit the combo of like the secret box. But what's cool is though, the only thing with the Arven, with the item with the secret box, even if you're going second and your opponent doesn't hit a Buddy Buddy Poffin, obviously they're going first and they can't hit play an Arven. So if they just say pass with a Badoo or a Dreepy, you then are just pretty much going to cook them. So it's absolutely disgusting. So Mew also allows you the free retreater, plus you get to draw from it. Latios EX just giving you free retreat options just in case you don't hit your Pecharon. And once again, you also don't want to waste the energy attachment. Pheasant Skippity, once again, best support Pokemon in the game. And then Pecharon EX, this is more just to get your dark Pokemon, to bring up the Pecharon, Then to make sure you're doing a total, the max this can do with just poison damage is 80. So this is absolutely busted. Petron allows you to hit those. Plus, Petron, once again, doesn't trigger something like the Archaludon for like the binding mochi, but it's still good just to have it for the Petron. So that is all the Pokemon that we play. So the best supporter in this deck, you're going to play 4 Carmine. Got to get all my full arts so I can rock it for Atlanta. We're going to play 4 Carmine just because even if you're going first, you can play this on your opening turn. So Nest Ball, ditching everything, Carmining, and then you have the Squawk there from the Nest Ball. Absolutely busted. Now on the turns that you go second, of course you want to dig for Professor Oak's. Yeah, Professor's Research. I call it Professor Oak, but you want to be able to dig for this card because instead of Carmining on your second, your first turn, but going second, you would rather see the extra 2 cards from Professor Research. So absolutely necessary. We also want to boss around big beefy Pokemon like Charizard and sometimes even Dragapult EX. We want to be bossing up Pidgeot EXs, anything under 280, 290, and then Boss's Order allows you to kind of get those KOs on those EXs. And then we play 1 Iono for the late game. Once again, if you're falling behind, Iono can help you come back from that standpoint. We're turboing through the deck, so we have 4 Ultra Ball right over here, and then we're also going to have 4 Nest Ball right over here. Once again, you just want to be able to go Nest Ball, Ultra Ball. So Nest Ball for like a Squawk, and then Ultra Ball for one of the pieces of the combo. If you have the Ancient Booster Caps on hand, you're going to Ultra Ball for the Brute Bonnet, attach, and then Squawk away the hand, unless obviously you have a Carmine. Now we want to be able to get to our Carmine, so we're going to play 4 Pokegear, and then late game, you really need these to get the bosses because there's no draw in the deck. You want to basically set up turns where you can loop the Archaludon, poison the active, with the jungle does an extra 20, with the binding mochi does an extra 40. So Big Daddy Archaludon can take some really big hits. We're going to play 2 Night Stretchers. This is mainly just to get back to the Duraludon EXs, to keep looping them, or sometimes if you want to keep looping the combo of like the Petron. One cool thing, once again, with the Petron, it doesn't trigger Pheasantipity, so you can really stuck opponents on some bad hands. If you get rid of the Badoo and they have, for example, like the Fez already in hand, they really can't draw the cards because of its poison counter, so it doesn't trigger it. Great Ball, it's just a one-of. You could switch this out for like an Earthen Vessel. Maze, try an Earthen Vessel. We play 1 Super Rod. Sometimes you have to shuffle back in the Duraludon EXs if you have to discard them off of a Carmine in the early game. You may run into some walking hands. And then we play a Pal Patch, shuffle back the bosses, and shuffle back more of your redraw supporters, whether it be Research or even Ionos. And then, of course, Secret Box makes the deck broken because you want to see your tool cards. You want to get into your stadium. So Secret Box is, if you see this and you don't prize this, it's just like, if you see that with a Carmine, it's just like GG's pretty much. Oh, we definitely play 2 of these. We play 2 Binding Mochi. So with Brute Bonnet, it makes both active Pokemon poison. So with Binding Mochi, if your active Pokemon is poison, it does an additional 40 more damage. So Duraludon is doing 260 total, plus the initial just 10 damage from that actual poison. And then the 290 comes from the 20 from the stadium, the jungle that we play. Now we want to see as many energy booster capsules because we can't do the nutty combo, so that's why Secret Box is so good. Being able to search out this actual item, their tools. You need the Ancient Booster for the combo. We're gonna play just 1 Jamming Tower. Once again, this is really good against Guardy. You can go absolutely nutty against Guardy because if they put up their Guardy EX, you can most likely get a crazy knockout with it. And then we're gonna play the 3 Perilous Jungle. This allows you once again to just take any knockout on 80 HP Pokemon with just the Petron Brute Bonnet play. And because with Dragapult's in the format, you have to do 80, especially if people are using like the new Hoothoot with the double retreat. So Perilous Jungle gets through that. It knocks out Darumakas for the end deck, so you got to play the jungle. And then for the energies, very simple, you're going to play 6 Metal Energies. All right, guys, so that was the deck. Let me know as I put this all back together what you guys think about the combo base. I will have gameplay coming up pretty soon over the weekend, so I want to make sure that you guys are absolutely able to see that gameplay, kind of to see how the hand and combos work. If you guys want to see me do like a little hand test combo, just doing some test hands, maybe I'll do a live and then I'll re-upload the video. But come on, guys. Also, shout out to my boy Mike. You guys see the new banner, the new thumbnail. We're official. It's Poke King, baby. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, become part of the Poke Kingdom. It's been your king. Peace.